I've been excited about this book since I first heard about it, and I got to see an early copy of it, and I actually wrote an endorsement for it because I think it belongs in pretty much every single parish community, and everybody who's working in an administrative role in a parish ought to at least skim it. Scot Landry's new book is called Transforming Parish Communications, Growing the Church Through New Media. Scott, good morning.
Good morning to you, Matt.
So, if I'm a parish secretary and I've just subscribed to a Facebook account for my church, does that mean that I've automatically succeeded in becoming part of the new evangelization, or is there a little more to it than that?
Well, we encourage every parish secretary to make sure that her parish is on social media. That's a good first step. But then these are just tools that can be used for so many different purposes. And one of the main reasons I wanted to write this book is to encourage us as a church to use it to the best of its ability to reach people. Pope Francis, since he was elected March of last year, has been calling all of us to go to the peripheries, to reach everybody with the loving message of our God, the saving message, the good news. And we can do that in social media. I believe every single person who might be an inactive Catholic or somebody that needs to hear the good news is only one connection or 1 degree removed from an active, engaged, practicing Catholic who's on new media. So it's a great way to reach people with not only friendship and the friendship of the Catholic community, but with the good news of Jesus Christ.
Scott, have you ever been in a parish situation where you didn't know the names of anybody around you?
Too often to count, I think, as I was moving around in my 20s and 30s. And it's a tough situation for a lot of people to be in, and I think new media tools can make that process a little bit easier as a newcomer to an area. Perhaps first goes on the parish website, sees some of the smiling faces of their soon-to-be fellow parishioners, and then maybe connects with a social media account related to the parish, and they might establish friendships through social media that can then be formed into true face-to-face relationships where people grab coffee or donuts together after Mass.
I don't want to sound creepy, but there have been times when I've gone on a parish Facebook account and finally figured out the name of this person that I'd been saying hi to for like a couple of years, but never asked their name and was too embarrassed to after saying hi that many times. And so sometimes Facebook can help you put the face with the name without you having to have that awkward moment.
So many folks connect with me on Facebook because they're coaching another soccer team in town, or they were in the same large group of people with me, and they searched and they connected with me. You strike up a quick little friendship where you match their full name with perhaps their face if they've posted a photo on Facebook. But then it makes it so much easier the next time you see them to walk up to them and say, thanks for friending me on Facebook, or thanks for linking to me on LinkedIn. Tell me a little bit more about you and your family and your kids, and how long have you been part of this parish. So using social media in that way, first to just befriend other people, to deepen our friendship. There's so much value for us. But as I encourage Catholics to do in the book, if you go on social media, if you're not there, I'm not asking everybody or suggesting that everybody post all of their messages about the Catholic faith. Here in Boston, we want to talk about how bad the Red Sox are doing this year, or how high our hopes are for the Patriots this year. We can talk about that a lot, but I ask Catholics who are on social media to consider tithing 10% of their social media messages per week about a message of faith, and that can be something simple like, hey, I'm going to the 9 o'clock Mass this Sunday. If, we got 2 seats in the car if anybody would want to come. Or Father Joe gave a great homily this week. It really challenged me, and I'll be thinking about it the rest of the day. Things like that.
Yeah, I get so much response to just, even from my evangelical friends when I post on a saint's feast day quotes from that saint. Because often the quotes, though they are from a Catholic saint, are universally applicable to people who don't even have to subscribe to the Catholic faith. But let's dig in here to another point that I'm glad is addressed in your book. Again, we're talking with Scot Landry, author of Transforming Parish Communications. How important is it to know the demographics of certain social media platforms? Because it used to be that people would say, let's get on Facebook because that's where the young people are. Actually, you should get on Facebook because that's where the 45 and older women are. So how important is it to understand social media platforms and who's using what if you want to get your message out?
You know, in most communities, the majority of Catholics in a parish community don't attend church with us each Sunday, and that's a really sad fact, and we need to do something about it. The truth is, almost everybody we're trying to reach is in social media in some way, or they're at least connected with somebody who follows social media who might be able to deliver a message to them. So to make the false assumption that a lot of these tools, because they started becoming popular with young people, are just used by young people, are flat out wrong. The demographics of folks on Facebook in particular skew to be pretty close to the entire population. LinkedIn is a great tool if you're a Catholic professional who wants to connect with other Catholic professionals. And Twitter has a little bit of a different profile, but it's not just young people. It's a lot of folks who like that tool to hear about news headlines. I learned so much about what's going on in the world of the Catholic Church, in the world generally, and in the world of sports, as I'm a big sports fan, just through following what people post on Twitter and Facebook. So it's a great tool. We encourage everybody to get on it, and it's not that difficult. You can sign up for Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn in about 15 minutes.
It really is simple, and it really is important, as you mentioned, to be out there, be visible, be joyful on the internet. You know, it's so often a temptation to just get in fights about faith on the internet when we can really express the joy of what it means to live a life as a Catholic. And hopefully that's what people will take away from Transforming Parish Communications by Scot Landry. And Scott, if our listeners want to pick up a copy, because I know a lot of our listeners are involved in some kind of administrative role in a parish or perhaps on some committee or other and would love to be better at this, and you've kind of written a book on it, as it were, where can they get their copy?
So breaking news, Matt, it's now available on the Kindle. So for those who are interested in digital media, they might want to pick up the Kindle at Amazon.com. Amazon's always a great place to pick up the book. I got a lot of other resources for the book on my website, ScotLandry.com. That's Scott with one T, Landry.com.
Well, you mentioned the Red Sox and the terrible year that they're having. At least they swept us here in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark. So that's
season, Matt.
Well, I can tell you this, too, by the way. Carlton Fisk waving the ball fair inside of the foul pole in Game 6 of the 1975 series. It may be played over and over and over again, but don't you ever forget who won Game 7.
You're bringing it up. It's a knife to the heart.
All right, Scott, you take care.